Hello student, myself Professor Ushali Tapde from ICEEM Engineering College. Now today we will discuss about the actor in the use case diagram. In the last lecture we have discussed about the functional modeling, that means what is a functional modeling. Then for the very first phase in the modeling is that requirement gathering. First you need to gather a requirement from the user, and this requirement modeling consists of two phases, that is the requirement analysis and requirement specification. In the requirement analysis we need to analyze whether we want to replace the manual system or we want to replace the whole existing software system, or whether we replace only some part of the software system, as well as we need to analyze the requirements from the user in each and every phase of modeling. So that is the requirement analysis. In the requirement specification we need to specify the requirements of the system, that is both requirement, functional requirement as well as the non-functional requirement of the system. Now while considering the functional requirement we have to ask some question to the user while focusing on the functional requirement, so that the system will give or perform as per the user requirement. Then in the non-functional requirement again we have to consider the various factors like a performance, security, that we have discussed in the last lecture about the non-functional requirement. So in the last lecture we have seen how to do the requirement modeling with the help of requirement analysis and requirement specification, which is nothing but an agreement on the requirements between the developer of the system as well as the user of the system. I think this requirement modeling is clear to you. So uh, now we have to discuss about the next thing, that is the use case diagram. Use case diagram is always describes the functional requirement of the system, and to describe the functional requirement of the system we need to gather the requirement of the user. The very first stage when we want to create a model of a system with the help of different diagram, the very first diagram which we have to draw, that is nothing but a use case diagram which describe the functionality of our system. That means what is the input to this system, then how our system works on that input, and how it will give us the output. All these things are represented with the help of use case diagram. So for that we need to gather requirements from the user. We need to ask some questions to the user. We have to collect the different requirements for the system which required for the system for drawing or for modeling the use case diagram. Use case diagram describe what a system does from the standpoint of an external observer. That means it describes the functionality of our system. Use case diagram mostly focus on what system does rather than how it does. Understood? Use case diagram mostly focus what system does, okay, how it rather than how it does, with the help of which language, with the help of which on which hardware. Instead of that it will focus on how what the system does as per the user requirement, what is the functionality of your system. Use case diagrams are closely connected to the scenario. In 4+1 view of the software architecture, this +1 view is nothing but a scenario which represent each and every communication between the system as well as the different users, that is the stakeholders of the system, and each and every communication is called as a scenario. That what types of communication is done between the different users of the system and between the system. So the use case diagram is closely connected to the scenario because it represents which use case is initiated by which user of our system, and that user is also called as an actor. Okay, so scenario is an example of what happens when someone interact with the system. What is the scenario? It shows the communication between the system and the person who is communicating with that system. It may be the user, it may be the different stakeholders. Okay, so use case diagram basically used to show the functionality of our system, and this is the very first diagram which we draw while doing the model of our system. Now, what are the use case diagram components? The use case has the three main components. The first one, the use case. The use case, that means what type of function your system is performing, which type of task is carried out by your system, that is represented by the use case, which is represented in a oval shape format. The graphical notation that is used for the use case is nothing but a oval shape, okay, which represent the task that is carried out by your system, the action that the system or function the system will perform. Then the actor is trigger the use case to activate, that means to carry out that function by the system. Who is triggering that function, who is activating that use case? That may be the person, that may be the hardware, that may be the external system, okay. So actor can be anything. Now when we discuss about the actor, this thing will be clear to you. So who is the actor? Who triggers the use case to activate, who triggers that function, who call that functions, so that that task will be performed by your system. And whoever triggering or calling that function, that is nothing but a actor, okay. So this is the second component of our use case diagram. And third component is nothing but a communication line. Communication line, that is a which it is a line which show how the actors communicating with the use cases, the relationship. It will show how the actor is communicating with the use case. Actor can communicate with which type of use case, which functions are called by the actor, which use cases are activated by the actors. All these things are shown with the help of lines. The lines is drawn between the actor and use case, so that it is easy to understand which use case is activated by which user, or which function is called by which type of which actor. So these are the three main components of the use case diagram. Use case, which represent the function of your system, actor which activate that use case by triggering the use case, and the communication line which shows the relationship between the actors and the use case. Now what is an actor? Actor is nothing but an instance or someone, something outside the system that interact with the system. What is the actor? It is something outside the system. It is not a part of your system. It is an outsider of your system which interact with the system. It may be the person, it may be the hardware device, it may be the system, another system which can interact with the other system, okay. So actor can be anyone. The actor class defines a set of actor instances in which each instance play some role in relations to the system. That means if there are multiple use cases which are present inside your system, you have a one actor, that actor can activate all these use cases, or you can have more than one actors we can activate these use cases. So what is the actor? Actor is nothing but a person, it is nothing but a hardware, it is nothing but a, you can say, another system which is outside the system that interact with the system. Now, to fully understanding the system purpose, you must know who the system is for. That means who will be using that system. For proper understanding of the system, we need to know for whom the system is performing or who is using that system. Okay. So different user types are represented by the actors. Who is using the system, and that person is represented by the actor. Okay. So actor is anything that exchange data with system, who can interact with the system. Actor can be user, it can be external hardware, or it can be the another system, right? Actor characterize an external user that interacts with the system. In the use case model, actors are only the external entities that interact with the system. In other words, it is a outsider of the system. Again, I am saying actor is not a part of system. Our part of there is a boundary in the use case diagram. When we draw the use case diagram, inside the boundary we are showing our system, and outside that boundary portion there are the different actors are shown. So actors are not a part of our system. They are interacting with our system. The difference between an actor, now there can be the individual system user also. So what is the difference between actor and individual user? The difference between the actor and individual user is that actor represents a particular class of user rather than the actual user. It represents particular instance of user who is at that time activating the particular use case than the actual user. Several users can play the same role. As I am saying, the one use case case can be activated by more than one actor. It is possible, which means they can be one and the same actors for that use case. Now, in that case, each user constitutes an instance of the actor. The same user can also act as several actors. That means the same user can activate multiple use cases in the use case diagram. It can call more than one function. We can say it can call more than one use case. Now for each use case, that actor act as a different several actors, right? So the same user can also act as a several actors. Start by thinking of individuals who will use the system. How to decide the actor? So we need to first ask the question, who will use the system? How can you categorize them? In the 4+1 view model, again I am saying please revise that part, 4+1 view model. In that we have discussed about the different stakeholders of our system, different users of our system. So you need to categorize them while drawing the use case diagram, because we need to consider requirement from each type of user. It is often good habit to keep few individuals in a mind and make sure that the actors you identify cover their needs. Now, actor represents a role that is played in an application domain, typically by the human user. So actor is represented by a sticky figure, like a sticky figure diagram, in which actor represents like a human user. A user is an individual, whereas an actor represents the role played by that all users of the same type. For example, we take here one example, so we have more clear idea about the actors. There are several customers in the banking system, right? So who are all represented by the ATM customer actor. Now bank have the many customer, so we can represent all these customer as a customer actor. We can say them as a what the name given to that actor, like a ATM customer. Thus ATM customer actor models a user type, and individual customs are the instances of the actor. What is the class? ATM customer, and of that class many instances are there, many users are there, so many instances of the actors are possible. An actor is very often a human user for the ATM system, and for this reason in UML actor is depicted using a sticky figure. In the first diagram I have shown how the actor is drawn. Actor is represented using a sticky figure. In many information system, humans are only the actors. Like a banking system, you can say human is an actor. For the many information system also humans are the actors. For other system, there are other types of actors in addition to the human beings. Okay, thus it is possible for an actor to be an external system which interact with the system, or it may be the some IO devices that can be interact with some system. In some application it is possible that some IO devices can play a role of an actor, like a timer, who will play a role of an actor to activate the timer, okay, of your sensor of your system. So external IO devices and timer actors are particularly prevalent in the real-time embedded system. In the real-time embedded system, you can say that the timer can act as an actor for that system, in which system interacts with the external environment through the sensor and actuators. Now, how to identify actor? Continuously we are talking about the actor who is communicating with a system, who are initiating the use cases, who are calling the functions of the system, because system is performing the task, but it should be called by someone. Then only it can, that task will be get activated, and that task will be activated by the actor. Now how will identify who is actor for my system? While drawing the use case diagram, first thing which we have to perform, we have to think, we need to identify the actor. Now how to identify the actor? By asking some questions. The very first question which we have to ask, who will supply, use or remove the information? Who is supplying information to our system, that is who is providing input to our system, that one is act as an actor for our system, right? The very first question is that who is supplying information, who is giving input to our system, that is an actor. Then who will use this functionality? Again, whatever the output that is provided by our system after performing the function function, that output is also used by someone, so that is also the actor of our system. Then who is interested in a certain requirements. There are different actors playing role while with carrying out the different functions of a system. So who we have to see, we have to keep watch who are interested in a certain requirements, where in the organization is the system used, in which organization this system is used, then who will support and maintain the system. We have to keep track of that for recognizing the actor, identifying the actor who is supporting the system, who is administrator, that is also actor, who is maintaining the system. Then what are the system external resources, okay, from where the system will get the input, all that things are play a actor role for that system. What other system will need to interact with this one, okay, all these questions we have to ask before drawing the use case diagram, to identify who are the actors that I have to draw for the use case diagram. Now, types of actor. There are two types of actor. The first is called primary actor and second one is a secondary actor. Now, primary actor is an actor who activate the use case of our system. Okay. Thus, the use case start with the input which is given by the primary actor to which system has to respond. Primary actor will give an input to your use case and the system will perform that function. Okay. That actor is called as the primary actor. Then who is the secondary actor? Secondary actor can participate in the use case. That means whatever the output that is produced by your system, that will be used by someone, and that is nothing but your secondary actor which participate in the use case. Primary actor in one use case. Now remember that what is a secondary actor? Who use the output of your system. Now secondary actor now the primary actor of one use case can be secondary actor in the another use case. Please remember this thing. Now primary actor who is supplying the input to our system, right, who is activating the use case. Now for this use case he is acting as a primary actor, but he will be taking the output from some another system and taking that output, he will give that output as an input to our system, right. So in that case he will be acting secondary actor to that system, and then he will act as a primary actor to our system. So at least one actor must gain value from the use case. This is the main difference between the primary actor and secondary actor. Primary actor is an actor who is giving input to our system, whereas the secondary actor is an actor who is using output of our system. Primary actor can act as a secondary actor if he is taking the output from another system and giving input to the another system. Here we will take the example, so this idea will be clear to you. How the primary and secondary actors are used in the remote system. The remote system actor, in the remote system, actor initiates generate monitoring data use case. Okay, we are generating we are drawing one use case whose name is monitoring. Okay, in remote system we are drawing one use case that is monitoring the data in the remote system, and for that the actor is initiating that use case is a primary actor. Now the remote system in this case is a primary actor which initiate that use case. What is your use case? Monitoring the data. Now who will initiate that use case? The real remote system. So remote system act as a primary actor, and monitoring operator is a secondary actor. After monitoring the data, that data will be given to the operator. So the operator uses that data. So the operator is here a secondary actor who receives the monitoring data and gain value from the use case. So I think this is clear to you. In the system, what we are using the use case? Monitoring data. So who is a primary actor? Our primary actor is nothing but a real remote system. Then function is nothing but a monitoring data, and secondary actor is nothing but a monitoring manager who will use that monitor data. Now modeling actors. How we will model? Human actors typically uses various IO devices to physically interact with the system. Most of the time human being uses the IO devices to communicate with the system. Human actor interacts with the system via standard IO devices. For example, if you want to communicate with a computer, you need keyboard, mouse, display, right? So in some cases human actor might interact with the system via non-standard IO devices such as a sensor in the remote system. IO devices are the sensor. So in all these cases, human is the actor and IO devices are not actors. Please clear this thing. If the human are using IO devices for interacting with a system, in that case IO devices are not actor. In that case, human is an actor who is interacting with the system, but with the help of IO devices. Okay. So thus actor is a end user. Always remember, actor is a end user. Consider some examples of human actors. So we will take one example. For example, in emergency response system, an actor is nothing but a monitoring operator who is operating that data, who interacts with the system via standard IO devices. Emergency response system, we will give you up as the response. In that case, actor is nothing but a monitoring operator who interact with the system via standard IO devices. Now another example, we can take a ATM example. In the ATM customer who interact with the banking system using the several IO devices like a card reader, card dispenser, receipt printer, in addition to the keyboard and display. Here customer is nothing but a actor who is interacting with that ATM system, okay, with the help of ATM machine. So ATM customer is nothing but a human actor. The actor can also be an external system. Here we are what we are saying, actor can be the human being, actor can be the external system, actor can be the hardware. So we take the example of human being, that who is the actor for the external real time system. We can say monitoring operator is the human being. For the ATM system, the customer is the human being. Now we understood how the external system work as a actor for the another system. The external system actor which initiates or participate in the use case are nothing but the external system. The example of external system actor is the remote system in an emergency monitoring system. As we take the example of the remote system, what does in the remote system? We are monitoring the data, and for monitoring that data, who is our actor? Actor is nothing but a remote system who is monitoring that data, and once that data is monitored, it is given to the monitoring operator, right? So the actor can be the external system. In some cases, now we see it can be the external system or it can be the human being. Now we see the some examples how some IO devices can be play a role of actor in the use case diagram. Okay, this can be happen that the IO devices work as an actor or output devices work as an actor in the use case diagram. Now this can happen when there is no human involvement, when the IO devices act as an actor, when there is no human involvement with the use case, and the actor providing external input to the system as an input devices or via the IO devices. When the IO device act as an actor, when there is a no human involvement for the communication with the or interaction with the system. Typically, input devices actor interacts with the system via sensors. Okay, so the example of input device actor is monitoring sensor, which provides sensor input to generate the alarm. The monitoring operator is also a secondary actor in this use case. Now, three types of actor. I think this idea is clear to you. Who is a human actor, who is an external system as works as an actor, and how the IO devices works as an actor. Now there are two types of actor: primary actor and secondary actor. The actor can also be a timer actor which periodically sends timer events to the system. That is a IO devices. We can say different IO devices can also play a role of a actor. In some system, different actors might have some roles in common but other roles that are different. In this situation, actors can be generalized. That means for some use cases that actor play a common role, some actors play the common roles, but for the one of the use case it has a special role. So for showing that relationship, we can use the generalized relationship between the actors, which can play the common part for the activating that use case. For example, in the emergency response system, which has the two actors, that is a monitoring sensor actor and remote system actor, which behave a similar way for monitoring remote sensor and sending the sensor data to the alarm system to generate the alarm. This similar behavior can be modeled by generalized actor remote sensor, which represents the common role. Now, who is the actor? Okay, sometimes as we know, there are actor can be anyone. So these questions give you the answer who is the actor. Sometimes it is not clear who is a actor. In fact, the actor may be the human being actor, may be the external system, or actor may be the IO device, but who is the actor? Sometimes in some use cases all these things are not possible. We cannot say who is the actor. For example, if our card is get stolen, in that case if we are calling to the bank with the help of phone, right? If we are for making the report of stolen card, then ATM card, in that case customer is the actor. Okay, if we are going to the bank and making the complaint about the card stolen, then in that case the customer is the actor. But if you are calling to the bank and giving that information, in that case the clerk who is feeding the information in the system, he is the actor. Now the customer is not actor, because you are calling to the bank via the phone calls that my card is stolen. You are giving information to the manager of the bank that your card is stolen. In that case, who is feeding the information into the computer? The clerk. In that case, the clerk is nothing but a actor. So sometimes it is not clear who is a actor. So I hope you will understood what is the actor and how it play role in a use case diagram. What are the different types of actors? When we draw the use case diagram, this view is more clearer to you. Thank you.